welcome to Mindfulness for the Busy Mind. We are going to dive right in today and first just talk about the courage that it took to even just sign up for this course and to say, oh yeah, maybe I do want to see if I can live my life a little different. Maybe I would like to have a different relationship with my mind. Maybe I would like to feel more calm and peaceful, knowing, however, that mindfulness is not this silver bullet. It's not going to make you feel peaceful and joyful and without stress. But what it does is it gives you a new way to look at things, a new way to experience things. So let's jump right in and let's define what mindfulness is. So mindfulness is a way of being in the present moment. So what does it mean to be in the present moment? It means that we notice that we are right here, right now. So we might begin to notice that our mind tends to wander, and it wanders, and we start to think about our to-do list. We start to think about what we did yesterday. We start to think about things that didn't go well in the past, and the past could be as recent as 3 minutes ago, or it could be 20 years ago. We tend to focus there a lot. And then we go to the future and we're planning. Often we're rehearsing what we're going to say. We're thinking about what we need to do, and we're also going into what if thinking. So that really takes us out of the present moment. If mindfulness means living in the moment, we want to start to know what that is. We're so busy living elsewhere that we don't even know what it's like to live in the present moment. So we're going to start practicing living in the moment with kindness. That's a big one. With kindness and without judgment. The hard thing is that we're judging everything. We are judging whether we like what we see in front of us all the time. We are judging, oh, I like that person's outfit. Oh, yeah, she looks really pretty. Oh, he looks like he's angry. I do not want to be around him. Oh, yeah, I like that flower. I like that color. I don't like that color. It's constant. So we are constantly judging. We want to start to realize that judging may not be necessary all the time, and it's actually kind of a defense mechanism to keep us feeling safe. We are often judging ourselves and making us feel better than someone else by thinking, oh yeah, I have my act together. What's wrong with them? Or we're judging ourselves a lot of the time, and Instagram and Facebook really are really good at helping us to do this and making ourselves feel less than. We wish we were on those amazing vacations. We wish we looked like that. We wonder how they can afford all judgment. So we want to start to notice judgment and just be brave about sitting with it. As Jon Kabat-Zinn says, and he is the father of mindfulness in the States, he brought mindfulness and meditation to the United States probably 30 years ago. And it was entirely for those who had so much pain, who could no longer manage their pain from cancer. And the doctors have kind of threw up their hands and said, we don't know what to do. And then he came in and taught them mindfulness and meditation in order to help them change the relationship they have with pain. And it was very successful, and it's still going on today. So we're going to start to notice what we pay attention to, because what we pay attention to creates our present moment. And if you pay attention to anxiety, worry, what ifs, if you pay attention to anger, frustration, thinking things should always be better, judging, you're going to start to notice how that feels in your body, and it doesn't feel good. We want to start to live in the present moment with kindness. And it doesn't mean that we're going through life with rose-colored glasses. It just means that we allow ourselves to give up the thinking that things need to be other than what they are right now. It's this job of accepting right here, right now. Stop fighting it, because when we fight it, it just creates more chaos, more angst. So, class 1, we're just going to start to practice what it means to be in the present moment. In order for us to be in the present moment, we need to be able to notice when we're distracted. So when we're distracted is, they say, anywhere from 60 to 90% of the day, where we are out of the moment and we are living someplace else. And we want to start to notice that, because where we put our attention matters. Where we put our attention is where we live. And when we live in the past or we live in the future thinking, what if, or, it's so awful, they're so rude, or we make ourselves the victim. I can't believe they did that to me. They're going to pay. So we want to just start to notice, or I'm never talking to them again. That puts our mind, our heart, our body into stress mode. We don't want to be in stress mode. We want to live in a state of love. Living in a state of love does not mean that everything is hunky-dory all the time. It doesn't mean that everything is great all the time, but it means that we approach things with an attitude of love. So if we begin to pay attention to what we feel in our body, if we begin to notice distraction, we're going to start to notice a lot. And what I also noticed is, I was one of those kids in school, I had a really hard time paying attention. I was diagnosed with ADD when my daughter, my oldest daughter, was diagnosed. And it made a lot of sense to me that all during school, I had so much trouble paying attention. I was the one who teachers would say, pay attention. What are you doing? You're looking out the window. You're not paying attention. What I realized, and why I do what I do now, I teach, half of my time I teach in schools, teaching kids and teachers how to pay attention, because no one ever teaches us how to pay attention. They just say, pay attention, and they expect that we're going to know how to do it. There are some naturals out there. They are the pleasers, right? And they are the kids who are the exact student that teachers want, right? The ones who are easy to teach, the ones who get everything, the ones who just want to sit there and learn. It's not most of us. So we want to start to notice that we need to be taught how to pay attention. And when we teach ourselves how to pay attention, everything's going to make sense, and we're going to understand why we behave the way we do. So first step in paying attention, we are going to use sound to help us to pay attention. And I have my bell here that we're going to use. And what we want to do is we're going to focus all our attention on sound. Okay, it's just our first practice. So we start to learn where we're going to put our attention. And we're going to place our attention on this sound and the sounds in the room, just to see what it's like. All right, so let's try it. So I invite you to close your eyes. And I want you to just notice everything that you hear in your room right now that you're in. So we're going to listen to the bell. Putting all your attention there. So just a gentle reminder that mindfulness is paying attention to the present moment with kindness and without judgment. So I want you to just notice when the mind starts to judge and you might think, oh, this is stupid. I can't do this. And I want you to just notice it with kindness. Notice if it's hard for you to notice with kindness. That may be the sign that you are used to beating yourself up. No worries, most of us are. That is beating ourselves up. So I want you to notice the sounds in the room that you're in. And I want you to notice, as soon as you start to notice the sound, the mind wants to get involved and label the sound to make sense of it. Oh yeah, fan. Someone walking. So as soon as the mind starts to go, all I want you to do is bring yourself back to the sound in your ear again. And see if you can just let go of the mind for a second. And say, wait a minute, I'm in charge, I'm listening in my ears. And as you're doing this, you may also notice sounds outside of the room you're in, right? So you get this layering of sounds. So just notice them too, and see if you can notice them again without the mind automatically clicking on and staying on. It's going to want to label, and then you just label it, but don't go with the distraction, which will keep you thinking about whatever it said, and come back to just noticing the sound again. And when we notice the sound, we're in our body. Right here in the present moment. So you might also just notice how your body feels, feeling your feet if you're sitting on the ground. Bringing yourself into the moment. Feeling your hips being supported by the chair. Maybe noticing if your shoulders are scrunching. Pull them back, hard out, sitting up straight. And just focusing on sound. That's our only tool for this first class. Starting to listen and notice distraction, and bring your attention back each time you notice distraction. So you'll notice yourself thinking, and then you bring yourself back nice and calmly with kindness, no judgment. Yeah, this, and all you say is, yeah, this is what the mind does. And then just allow yourself to listen to the bell again. So just notice how you feel right now after practicing. No right or wrong answers, but you might want to just journal about it. It's a great tool. Just journal what you notice. Again, you might not notice peace, but you might. Don't worry about it. Just journal what you feel. Mindfulness is not about being peaceful all the time. It is about getting comfortable with uncomfortable and seeking whatever is here in the present moment without being afraid. All right. See you next time.